4, 3, 2, 1. What up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Pearl Daily. Today, it's our favorite day of the week. It's STD Friday. Oh my God. Where we go over the STDs that are out there right now. I know it's an uncomfortable part of dating, but we do have to talk about how to avoid STDs and what STDs are out there because this is a part of dating today. If you think that you are too good to get an STD, it can really happen to anyone. Half of the people I interview are married. But before we get to today's topic, I thought we'd kind of start with a little fun segment. So one of the guys that works with us here, his name's Aaron, and he's had some dating issues that he wanted to talk about with me and Doug MPA. So we're going to bring him on the line, and maybe as a class, we can go through his problems. I don't know why if I look here today, guys, my mouse won't charge for some reason. So I'm having to put the chat on my phone. So bear with me. Okay. But hi, Aaron. Welcome to the show.
What's kicking, chicken? How's it going? Good.
So tell me about your problems. Tell me what you were telling me before the show. You want to stalk somebody?
No. I didn't say that. I was listing out a hypothetical. Let's just say hypothetically, you suspect that someone you know is dating somebody. And, you want to find out if it's true or if there's something going on, if they're hiding something. Would it be crazy if you knew that person was going to be at a certain bar or restaurant or something to go in disguise to that place to find out what they're up to? Because maybe they're not actually dating somebody. Maybe you're just paranoid and you go there and you just see them alone and then your conscience is cleared. But what if you, I don't know, see them with a woman or a man or something? If you're in disguise and you don't just confront them up front, you can hear their conversation, if they're talking about doing it or something, then they're dating someone or something. Or if they're talking about their grandparents, and it's probably just family or friends, and you're just in your head or something.
Who is this person?
I won't say. I won't say it's.
Wait, okay. I'm gonna ask the easy question. Are you dating this person?
No. Well, there is no one person I'm talking about. It's just a hypothetical, just for anyone. Let's say you suspect your friend has a girlfriend and he's not telling you, or if there was a girl you just recently broke up with or something, and you suspect she might have been cheating on you, and so you think there, or if you suspect maybe I don't know, maybe your dad is having an affair or something.
Okay. My first question is, do you have any hobbies?
I am a graphic designer by trade, and I'm also a ventriloquist.
Okay, so what would be wouldn't you think that you have something better to do than stalking?
Well, I mean, it's not really stalking if you're just trying to get down to the truth. What if my buddy, I won't say his name, but what if my buddy who does not get a lot of women because he's a bigger guy, and stuff, what if I suspect that he's dating someone and he's not telling me about it and I want to know about it, and I go down to this bar in Texas where I know he's going to be.
But why do you need to know if he's dating someone?
Get down to it or something.
Why?
Well, because then whatever excuses he's giving me, these ridiculous other reasons why he has to leave work early or why he has to go to his apartment, suddenly they all fall through, and it's okay, buddy, don't lie to me.
But here's the thing, because here's the thing, if you were approachable for him to tell you about it, he'd tell you. And second off, if it's affecting his work performance, you don't need to know what he's doing for you to confront him on him leaving work early or him not be a good friend anymore. You can address that without knowing why he's doing it. You can say, hey, man, what the heck is going on? You need to confront him directly about that, whether you find out he's dating someone or not. Would you finding out he's dating someone excuse his behavior? No.
Well, but it would also, it doesn't also have to be that, his work is, slacking off. Maybe he's just acting odd and I need to know why he's acting odd or something. And by the way, the first part is not true. It doesn't make me any less approachable. You can probably tell by the way I'm speaking that I'm autistic, and autistic people are approachable. So first of all, that's the first thing. That's, I know that's a little ridiculous to say, I know how I sound, but still, I just want to throw that out there for further context or something. Right.
I recommend getting 3 hoes. Yeah, because I just think you need somewhere else to put your mind, if you had 3 women bothering you, you wouldn't really be too worried about if he was dating someone, right?
Well, and believe me, I would love to have 3 hoes. You know, you don't need to tell me that or something. I mean, you know, I being, 20 and living on my own, I'm doing my best here.
Yeah. So
even
tell
though
me.
even though I just recently got my own apartment, but I was close to being able to secure 2 more recently until I got dumped last night.
Oh yeah.
I was close. Okay.
Okay.
So
tell us
I'm
about
taking your advice.
tell us about the dumping. How'd it go? What happened?
So I had met this girl on Snapchat, right?
How do you
let's
meet
call
women
this
on Snapchat? Just like
you just start like quick adding people. You go to the quick add tab, quick add, just like randomly add people. Snapchat is like within all your quick ads are within like location proximity of people that are like close to you around there. So you're automatically being matched with like women that are close or something. Then once you ask the basic questions like, hey, where are you from? How old are you? Stuff like that. What do you look like? That's when, you start to reel them in a little bit. And that's what I did with this girl. I added her randomly. Hey, how old are you? Where are you from? What do you look like? Once I realized, she was my age, or she was 21. She was 1 year older, close to me, and also looked pretty hot. I asked her like, hey, do you want to get together? And we did a couple days later. And then we went back to my apartment. And
okay,
read the Bible.
So you hit. Good job.
But then she had to go to Florida for a week, and we talked for a while. I was trying to keep it on the down low that I was dating this girl, because I have like former roommates who I also like work with and stuff, who I didn't really want knowing about it. But I told this girl that works downstairs to where we work about it, and she spilled to them. So it's kind of out in the open now or something. And I kind of just had to bite the bullet and realize like, okay, I need to be like a little more private about my stuff if I don't want stuff getting around to them. So finally, she comes back from Florida about a week later. She shows up at my place. We like order a pizza and we're talking. Obviously, since she was coming to my place, I was under the assumption that something else was going to happen. But then she basically starts asking me like, what is this? Like, what are we doing? And I'm like,
and you'd known her a week at that point.
A week and a couple days, maybe 10 days. Okay.
So now it's the what are we conversation.
Basically, I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, we're too old to be playing these games. I can't keep doing this without like a commitment or something. And I'm telling her like, hey, first of all, take a chill pill. Like, we've seen each other one other time or something. How about we just sit back, enjoy our evening or something? And she just keeps standing on her ground like, no, I need a commitment. And just basically as she's saying like, okay, well, that's going to be the case. Have a good night. She's grabbing her stuff, walk out. I did try to make one last move, basically, because as she's like walking out, I told her like, hey, well, real quick, if
where'd he go?
Uh-oh. You there? Hello? Uh-oh. I don't hear him. Are you still there, Pearl?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Rejoining.
Okay. I'm letting him back in.
What do you think of a girl asking for commitment after 10 days?
Yeah, no.
Sorry, my internet.
So, I mean, was this girl the same age as you, like 19, 20?
He said she was 21. Wait, okay,
yeah,
so finish the story. So what happened when she said she was walking out, and then what happened?
And now he's on mute. Aaron,
I asked her like, I'm sorry about this. Basically, as like she's on her way out, I asked her, I was like, well, hey, if us are going to be a thing of the past, how about just for old time's sake? And then I started pointing at my bedroom, and then she just turned around and walked out. And that was the last I saw of her, basically. And then she unadded me on Snap and stuff. So that's where I'm at.
What do you think, Doug MPA?
One of the journeys of a man is taking L's and moving forward, because that's one of the biggest differences between men and women. Like you got to learn how to take L's. And here's the thing: if a woman breaks up with you, if a woman tells you something, believe her the first time, move on.
Well,
that's a lesson.
She kind of took the L though, because he like hit and then didn't want to commit.
Well, yeah, but just move on. If you're not still occupied with this girl, are you? Like, are you glad she's gone or what?
I mean, it was good, like the time that we spent together. So I can't really say that, I'm thrilled that like nothing will happen, any chance of anything will happen again or something. But, if she's going to walk out that easy over like a stupid, like, oh, we're too old for these games, then I can understand how maybe I like Matrix level dodged a bullet or something. But, at the same time, with me finally like having my own apartment and stuff, I do want to get to the point where like I can regularly like bring a lot of these women over and like not have to worry about, competing with some of the people I work with and stuff who are bringing in women left and right or something. Like I got like these older coworkers who are like in their 30s or something, and they have like a new woman over every night. And meanwhile, I'm just stuck to like the Snapchat screen or something, so like.
But here's the thing though, when you're 20, you really don't bring a lot of value to the table because, look, when you're a man and you turn 18, it's a scary feeling because you're not worth anything. You have to build your value. 30-year-old guys, especially 30-year-old guys who are established and have money and have 10 years on you, they're going to get more women than you. And there's nothing you can do about it because they have 10 years on you. So you have to accept that.
Well, but at the same time, and I understand.
Go ahead.
I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, I'm not going to reveal too much about my personal life. But it's like, look, yeah, these guys are older. I'm a business owner, man. Like I've met some and worked with some pretty powerful people that these guys like haven't been around. Like I don't understand why that's not being viewed as like, me being the Jordan Belfort, and then all my 30-year-old coworkers are like my Jonah Hill and whatever the fuck his name is, stuff like that. So, like.
I said he should have made her work for it and given her like, oh, I'll maybe commit after X, Y, and Z. And then, then you could still nod in 3 months.
Yeah, because here's the thing. We had a show about situationships. Women, here's the thing. If a woman says, "What are we?" and she wants a commitment, there's a way to keep her around without saying there's no commitment. You don't really say yes, you don't really say no. This was a situation where you should have been able to do that. And here's the thing, like, women always want an explanation and always want a why. Just don't give them one.
Okay.
If you don't give them a story that can't find holes in it, if you don't give them just next time this happens and a woman asks you for commitment, you say, "Look, I'm giving you all I can right now." That's it. But see, us guys, we, especially when you're young, you care about a woman's emotional well-being to a fault. You need to stop doing that. And here's the thing: if you're a quote unquote good guy, you hate lying to women. You hate being a scumbag. It's against your nature. So just shut up, dude. Don't say anything. If it makes you feel bad to lie to women and say horrible things to women, you'll get there when you get older. but right now, stop talking, dude.
I mean, like I've seen your show. Like I've listened to like the call-ins where like you and a few other guys have said before, like, trust me, dude, when you turn 30, like it's raining vaginas and stuff like that. Like that's what happens when, like that's like what happens when you turn like 35 or something. But it's like, I want to be able to work with what I have, now that I have my own place and, my own little bit of clout, like, hey, look at me, I'm a big shot or something like that. I just want to be able to work with something that I have. So, do you think I'm making a mistake just like sticking to like the Snapchat strategy? Should I like try to move up a little bit or something?
So here's the thing. You have an established strategy. You get steady in that where you have a steady amount of women coming in there. Get yourself a nice rotation where you're never really alone. It's like the best time to apply for a job is when you already have a job. The best time to try to upgrade your game is when you already have women coming in. So don't knock your strategy, but I like the fact that you feel the need to upgrade and you have the means to be able to do it. But you haven't. There a lot of guys, especially when they're 20, have no strategy at all, man. Like none. A lot of guys out there aren't getting any. You're trashing your Snapchat strategy? Are you crazy?
Well, my coworker told me today after like all this that I should like delete Snapchat and like actually go to like a serious dating app or something because of like the bots and the scammers that are on Snap. And it's like, yeah, that's true, but there's also just as much of that on like dating apps or something. You know what I mean?
Why not
It's
both?
just,
Do you have good pictures? Like, did you get a photographer?
some of them are professionally done. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Yeah. Give yourself credit for even. It sounds to me like you have more access than the average 20-year-old man. So give yourself credit for that. A lot of guys are out here starving, especially at 20, starving. So give yourself credit, dude. You know.
Well,
and
I won't lie. A lot of the women that I brought around really aren't something to like brag about. Like I have a couple of.
Hey, you got to start. You got to start somewhere.
Yeah. We've
that's
all
what we
smashed
call
whales.
Yeah.
We've all smashed 3s and 4s, man. Come on.
That's what we call practice for your wife.
Yeah. So what is your strategy for upgrading?
It's another reason I'm calling in, like trying to figure that out basically. It's like, cause like I'll go out with like some of the guys I work with who, are older and are bringing in like new women left and right or something, or like,
what are they doing?
Like, I have no clue. They do the same thing that I do. And somehow they're landing, the women that work downstairs or something like that. And it's like, I'm doing the same thing. Like, am I just ugly? Like, what's happening?
Well, you're also 20, man. I can't tell you how much age, because the most desirable ages for a man to women is like, what, isn't it like 40 to 45, Pearl?
In my opinion, it depends what age the women are, but I think it's like 35. I think,
yeah, something like that.
Yeah, but I think a 50-year-old will get more matches though, because there's like the leftover women too. Like I'm guessing if it's in numbers, but yeah, go ahead.
You gotta. I always say the 90s were the best decade, but I didn't get to enjoy the 90s because I wanted to grow up so bad. Mm-hmm. Like, you're 20 years old, man. Enjoy the fact that you're 20. You're building yourself into something. Like, don't rush to try to like jump ahead. Understand what I'm saying? It's gonna if you what you want is a time-based problem. If you stay consistent, you don't get married, you don't have any kids, you don't get one of these STDs that'll permanently be there, it will come. Stop trying to rush it, man. Put that effort into your business and stuff. But when it comes to women, don't try to rush it, man. Just don't.
I understand what you're saying, and I agree, obviously, but just the position that I'm in, and maybe I'm just saying this wrong, or maybe there's something else I could be doing here that you could lay me out. But it's like, I guess the easiest way to put it is like, all my friends, spent their New Year's, getting laid or hanging out with all these women like in the casino and stuff. I spent my New Year's getting yelled at by a 30-year-old man because like I didn't want to do something for work. You know what I mean? Like, and I know that's the position that I've chosen, for me as like a business owner and stuff like that. But it's like at the same time, if there's a chance that when I turn 40 or 45, I can't get anything just because, I don't know, maybe I turned out to be a messed up 45 or 40-year-old, I don't want to miss like the best open window that I had. What I mean? Right now.
Are you gonna, have you been on like dating apps? Have those been doing well or no?
Yeah, they do pretty well. I've noticed something I'll say, at least for me, is that dating app women are more likely to ghost you than Snapchat women. Because like every girl I've hooked up with, every girl I've ever been on a date or something, I basically met through Snapchat, through like my little quick ad strategy. Mm-hmm. A lot of these dating app women, like from Hinge or Tinder, it's like they'll like respond to me, but as soon as I get down, like, hey, let's get together, that's when like the texts stop coming. Basically, I don't know what it is. But like for some reason, Snapchat.
You're competing with all of like the events and stuff and a million. It's not even just like, do you like, what are the messages usually like? Do you guys talk a lot, or is it just because I've heard a lot of the PUA guys say that you shouldn't talk much except for logistics, because women will just waste your time for years, days.
Well, I mean, like, I'm a pickup line collector. So, sometimes that's what I'll use on like a dating app or something, whereas on Snapchat, I can be a little more up for.
What collector?
A pickup line collector.
Okay.
So, because I know that's what people like expect on dating apps. Like I know that's like status quo on dating apps or something. Whereas on Snapchat, it's just like, hey, I added you. Hey, you're cute. Like, let's get together or something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Cool. Well, thanks for sharing. I liked your last line to her. Would you have taken that girl seriously or no? Like down the line if she didn't do that?
Well, first of all, it would depend how she responded to some of my other lines. But maybe, I don't know. Cause like I gave her, I told her like this other line when we first met, like on the first date, and she liked it. So that told me that she at least, had like the same kind of mindset that I was in of like, hey, this is how this is going to go. So, and somewhere down the line, she like changed her mind on the second date or something. So I don't know. We didn't get that far.
Okay, well, cool. Thanks for calling in. I appreciate it.
Well,
can we? You think we can do this again in like a week? You think we can do this again in like a week?
Yeah, I'll get a dating coach on the line. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to go back to the thing where your beginning issue, like this whole needing to know people's business thing, man. Like, especially when it comes to your friend. Dude, who cares, man? Honestly, like, if he's being flaky, you're gonna, as you get older, your guys are gonna get girlfriends and just disappear, man. You're not gonna see them for a year, maybe two, and then when they break up, all of a sudden they're gonna want to get on the Xbox again, man. It's how it is with some guys. Like some guys, they get pussy whipped, and then all of a sudden, oh yo, man, yo, bro, I can't come out, man. My girl doesn't want me. They're gonna disappear. So just let them disappear.
Well, but I also don't
you can do about it. Huh?
Well, but I also don't like, because like my work, the people that I work with who also happen to be my roommates, they definitely don't see it that way. Like they found out by just completely just interrogating this girl who I told that I was even seeing someone in the first place. So since they don't see it that way, I kind of have to like adapt to that a little bit and like camouflage. Like, okay, so if all of our business is going to be out there, let's cooperate with that and let's, get to the middle of like what's happening with everyone or something. Because like I don't want to be the odd man out.
Okay, so you want to stalk them back. It's like a retaliation.
Well, not that. I just want to know the truth. Too, like, I understand like their whole mentality that says like we need to know because like we care about Aaron since he's the youngest and we're like 10 years older than him. I get that. But at the same time, if the truth is going to be like so important to like everyone, I don't want it to like not be important to me.
Yeah.
The best thing you can do is apathy, dude. Just don't. I've had to learn a lesson in apathy, man. Like I've had people come in out of my life. This whole truth thing, man. Just don't let it. You have a business to run. Like you only have 100% of time and effort to give at any given time, and this is taking up too much of that 100%, man. You have a business to run. You got to build yourself up in this world, man. What other people are doing, man, just apathy is your best friend in the situation.
Cool. Well, thanks for calling in. Call in anytime, okay?
Pearl, I have your contact. I promise when I have an update, maybe like a week or two, we will do this again. I really want to do this again because I'm either going to be better off in a week or worse off in a week.
All right. No stalking. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now we're going to talk about some STDs. Make sure you avoid them. All right. Wrap it up.
All right, buddy. Good talking to you.
All right, guys. So welcome to another episode of Pearl Daily. So the dating market is a dumpster fire and men are just fed up. If a man wants to date, he has to worry about not only women's bad attitudes or unreasonable expectations, toxic friends, and the risk of being blasted all over the internet on the T app or one of those "Are we dating the same guy?" Facebook groups. But worst of all, they have to worry about STDs. I've been covering various STDs the last few Fridays because the conversation needs to be had. We are going to continue that trend by covering syphilis and hepatitis. Syphilis is an STD that is caused by a bacterial infection contracted through sexual contact. It can be cured by a single shot of penicillin. There were 200,700 reported cases of syphilis in 2022. That is the highest since the 1950s. The primary stage of syphilis is a painless sore that appears at the site of infection, typically within 10 to 90 days after exposure. The secondary stage, which is a rash, a fever, swollen lymph nodes, sore throat, and other flu-like symptoms that develop 6 to 12 weeks after the infection. The latent stage, the infection becomes dormant and may not cause symptoms for years. And the tertiary stage, which is untreated syphilis that causes blindness, heart damage, brain damage, and blindness, and sometimes death. All right, so now we're going to have this
STI awareness.
Now we're going to have this also nice white lady talking to us about STDs.
Week and every day this week, I'm making a video on a different STI. Today's topic is syphilis. Now, syphilis cases are up 80% across the U.S. since 2015, and congenital syphilis, so babies being born with syphilis, is up 300% over the past 5 years. So syphilis is quickly becoming a serious public health concern for us here in the U.S. Let's talk about it. Syphilis is this spiral-shaped bacteria under a microscope, and in medicine we call it the great pretender because it can present in a host of different ways and sometimes be tricky to diagnose. Syphilis is spread through direct contact with a syphilitic ulcer or a syphilitic sore. So syphilis in its primary stage causes an ulcer or a sore. Now, that sore is typically painless, and a lot of times it's located internally. So it can be, in the mouth, in the vagina, or in the rectum, and therefore people are unaware that they have this sore, and a lot of times sexual partners will not ever see the sore, notice the sore, or have any indication that that person may have syphilis. I have even seen a syphilitic ulcer on someone's arm before, so any direct contact with a syphilitic sore can transmit the infection. Regarding symptoms of syphilis, again, there can be many, but we classically think about syphilis in 4 stages. So primary syphilis, the first stage, is the appearance of the sore or the syphilitic ulcer. And remember, this sore may be located internally, somewhere where you can't see it, and it classically does not hurt. It's a painless ulcer. And so even if you do notice something on the body, a lot of people will notice something, but it doesn't hurt, and it goes away on its own without treatment. And so people really don't think anything of it. The next stage of syphilis, secondary syphilis, is classically associated with a rash, and that rash is typically a full body rash, including the palms of the hands, and it might be a little bit itchy, but nothing too crazy. This stage can also be associated with flu-like symptoms, lymph node swelling, and all sorts of things, patchy hair loss, headaches, sore throat, fatigue. But again, this stage will also clear on its own. The rash will go away, the symptoms will go away without treatment, but that patient still has syphilis. So untreated secondary syphilis then leads to latent phase of syphilis, which is where you still have syphilis because you've not been treated, but there's absolutely no signs or symptoms at all. And this phase can actually persist for years. So people can have syphilis for years and years without ever knowing it. Latent syphilis can eventually, over years and years, progress to tertiary syphilis. And this is a very serious condition in which
I would just say get tested every 3 months. I know it's a bitch because it's expensive. It's probably going to cost you. I was looking at Quest prices the other day, and I'm like, it's probably going to cost you like $1,000 a year. But if you're sexually active, yeah.
which the bacteria has now started to affect the organs. It can affect the eyes, the brain, the ears, the heart, the muscles, basically all of our organs, and you can experience symptoms like vision loss, hearing loss, ears ringing, confusion. Sometimes it's confused with dementia, muscle weakness, damage to the heart, and eventually, in some cases, death. Syphilis, if caught at really any stage, can be treatable, 100% fully curable with antibiotics, and the drug of choice for syphilis is penicillin. If the syphilis is caught in the primary, secondary, or latent phase, you often just need 1 shot, 1 to 3, depending on the circumstances, of penicillin. And in the tertiary phase, it's recommended to have IV penicillin over several days. The damage that has occurred to the organs in tertiary syphilis may not be reversible, but in my personal experience, I've seen people make 100% recoveries once the syphilis was treated. The thing to note about syphilis is that it can take quite a while to show up on a blood test, and that's the way we test for syphilis, through the blood. Or if you do have an ulcer, it can be cultured, but typically syphilis is diagnosed through the blood test. But it can take anywhere between 30, sometimes up to 90 days for that test to turn positive in the blood. And so I recommend people who are sexually active be screened about every 3 months or so for these types of infections, so you can make sure that nothing ever goes missed. This little guy has been plaguing humanity since 3000 BC, and it's not showing any signs of slowing down, so we have to be aware of these things. Get your STI testing, get treated when necessary, and just be aware of the risks. What questions do you have about syphilis?
All right. What a nice, she's always so cheery. I like her.
Currently,
Now she's also going to let us know 3 things we should know about syphilis.
A syphilis outbreak occurring in Houston, Texas, and the health department is reporting a 128% increase in women since 2019. So these are the top 3 things I want you to know about syphilis. The first thing I want you to know about syphilis is that oftentimes it is asymptomatic and people do not even know they have it. The classic symptoms of syphilis, such as an ulcer or a rash, will go away on their own without treatment, so they're often either missed or confused for other conditions. The second thing I want you to know about syphilis is that it can be transmitted through pretty much all forms of sex: vaginal sex, anal sex, oral sex, and even skin-to-skin contact if you come into contact with a syphilitic ulcer. These ulcers are usually painless, and they can be located inside the mouth, inside the vagina, or inside the anus, so people may not know they have them, and you may not be able to see them. The third thing I want you to know about syphilis is that it can take quite a while to show up on a test after you've been exposed to the bacteria. It can take up to 30 days after you were exposed for the syphilis blood test to turn positive, and in some cases even 60 or 90 days after exposure. So what I recommend is being tested 30, 60, and 90 days out from a potential exposure. And if you're regularly sexually active, I recommend simply being tested every 3 months. Now, there is a lot more to be said about syphilis.
All right. What do we got next?
Hey, guess what, guys? I have
He already knew she was his daughter. All right, let's see.
syphilis. What? I have syphilis. I'm sorry. It's okay. I got a shot. I'm cured. Then why are you even telling us? Because it's really contagious. Maybe you guys should get tested. What are the symptoms? These sores in your mouth. No. I don't have any sores. Yeah, me either. Not yet, but maybe you will. People like us don't get syphilis. I did. Yeah, well, you did some really nasty guys. I did the same guys you did. And like half the basketball team. Look, I'm just trying to be responsible, okay? You don't need to be such a bitch. I'm sorry, but Nick and Brad are coming over, and I'd really appreciate it if you didn't tell them. You should know. Fine, tell them later if it'll make you feel so responsible. I'm gonna have fun tonight. Feeling fun anymore? Are you coming? She's gonna hang for Nick. Girls in love. I'm sorry.
Were you going to tell us that Dawn has syphilis?
Dad, she told me that in confidence. Not like I can go around broadcasting stuff like that.
How about that the school is asking kids to get tested?
Well, they didn't ask me.
Did anything happen between you and Nick?
No. God.
All right. You know pretending something didn't happen, Hannah, is not going to make it go away.
Nothing happened. Sweetheart.
If something's going on, don't shut us out. We want to help you, not judge you.
There's nothing, okay?
Yep, yeah, that's how she got syphilis. Okay, I guess there was a syphilis outbreak in Charlotte.
Good evening, and thanks for staying with us here at 7:30. Former health department employees are warning about what they call a syphilis tsunami hitting Charlotte. They say local and state health leaders aren't doing enough to protect the public. At 6 o'clock tonight, investigative reporter David Hodges spoke with a former Mecklenburg County health employee who says in some cases it is taking months for health employees to track down new syphilis patients because of a staffing shortage and a backlog of cases. The records show the Charlotte region far worse at tracking down these certain cases than many other areas of the state. In 2022, just 75% of new syphilis patients assigned to county disease specialists were interviewed, compared to more than 95% from the rest of the state. Former Mecklenburg Health employee Emmanuel Stanley says he warned his supervisors about the problems, but he was ultimately fired. County records indicate it was a personnel issue, but Stanley says he believes he was terminated for sounding the alarm on syphilis and other safety issues at the department involving an employee who was arrested. Now, Dave is digging deeper into issues he's investigating at the county health and human resources departments.
WBTV has interviewed 2 former Mecklenburg County health employees who have been blowing the whistle on what they call a syphilis tsunami.
We had a great operation going on, but now that all of that which we had built up, me and Christy, over that 1 year, to clean up a governmentally induced outbreak, to me, it's no different than Tuskegee syphilis experiments.
Emmanuel Stanley was fired in January. Christy McCrae resigned in February.
I just saw my hands were tied. Nobody, I felt like, were really listening.
The public needs to know they have to protect themselves from this deadly disease that's running rampant in our community.
According to Stanley's personnel records, which WBTV obtained through a public records request, his termination from the county had nothing to do with his warnings about the syphilis outbreak. The reasons listed in this dismissal letter include disorderly conduct and workplace violence.
To me, they were trumped up and concocted.
So this is a confidential HR matter.
WBTV obtained a recording of Stanley's termination appeals hearing. Mecklenburg Public Health Director Raynard Washington argued the case for why Stanley should be fired. He didn't present evidence of any violence, but instead focused on an incident in which Stanley was accused of screaming at a human resources employee.
The reason why we're here ultimately is because of your actions, specifically the yelling, the cursing that's been described.
Okay. All right. So we got a syphilis outbreak. Not good. Now I guess there's one in Houston too.
We have a health alert tonight, a sharp and shocking increase in the number of infectious syphilis cases in the Houston area. The health department says the number rose 59% in just the first half of...
Certain ethnic groups are at a higher risk. Stop raw dogging, for God's sake. Yeah, I know. It's like... I know.
2018. Our Andy...
Syphilis is back. I mean, it didn't leave.
Rhoda is live tonight with who's most at risk. Andy.
We know the answer to that question. Come on.
Hi, Keith. In the early 2000s, syphilis was close to being eliminated. But since then, health officials say every few years they've seen a spike in cases. Now, syphilis symptoms aren't always noticeable. So a person may have it and not even know they're infected. Most at risk, anyone who's had multiple sex partners. Health officials say they're particularly concerned about gay and bisexual men who engage in anonymous sex. They've also seen an increase in syphilis cases among women. Last year, there were...
It's the bi guys. They bring stuff back to the women.
30. So far this year, they're at 47.
We want to make sure women get tested because with syphilis, they do run the risk of the baby being dying.
So far, there have been 263 reported cases in the first 6 months of 2018, compared to 165 during the same period last year. Health officials also warn that if you've already been diagnosed with an STD, you're at a much higher risk of getting infected. One way to reduce your risk, make sure your partner wears a condom every time you have sex. Syphilis may start with a painless sore that usually goes away in 3 to 6 weeks. Other symptoms include swollen glands, patchy hair loss, and a non-itchy rash on your hands or the soles of your feet.
You may have syphilis, and later on, a few years, you may discover that you have damage to your organs.
Yeah, that's one we don't want. Okay, so there are multiple kinds of hepatitis, but hepatitis B is considered an STD and is the most likely to spread by sexual activity. Hepatitis B can be spread through infected blood, semen, and other bodily fluids. The symptoms of hepatitis B include fatigue, loss of appetite, fever, nausea, dark-colored urine, joint pain, and yellowing of the skin and the eyes. Hepatitis B is incurable, and there are medications that can suppress the virus to prevent further damage to the liver and other organs. There's also vaccines that can prevent a hepatitis B infection. In 2022, there were 2,126 cases of hepatitis B in 47 states and the DC area, with an estimated 13,800 actual cases for adjusting those that are unreported. Most of those cases were reported between people ages 40 to 59 years old.
Hi, it's Dr. Joshi, and I'm a liver specialist. Let's talk about hepatitis B. This virus is transmitted from person to person through infected body fluids, and it affects 4% of the global population, and also is
wow, that's higher than I thought, 4%.
The cause of the majority of the world's cases of liver cancer, most commonly found in people who were born or living in China, India, the Philippines, and Nigeria, and other African countries as well. You will only know you have this virus if you get tested, because most people have no symptoms. People who need treatment are often the ones who have an elevated viral load, elevated liver enzymes, or any indication of liver damage. And being on treatment, if you're a candidate, can reduce the risk of liver fibrosis and injury and reduce the risk of liver cancer. So if you think you're at risk of having hepatitis B, see your doctor and get screened for the important proteins that indicate whether or not you have active infection or not.
Okay. We got that. Next, we got...
Hello, so I found out that I have hepatitis B after my initial lab test results. So my OBGYN called me to inform me that I did test positive for hepatitis B. She did reassure me that there was nothing to worry about and that it is a common finding for women who were born in Asian countries. She further explained that my mother may have passed it on to me during birth. She then referred me to a perinatologist to help with further testing. I did additional blood tests every trimester to check my viral load, and luckily, they were less than 0. So
all right, so she's finding out her mother gave her hepatitis B. Oh my God, can you imagine being that mad at your mom for being a whore? Oh my God.
It's undetectable. Both doctors did inform me that our baby will be getting an additional vaccine called the Hepatitis B IVIG, which is an extra protection for the baby from the virus. My perinatologist also recommended that I do see a GI specialist to check if my liver is doing okay. And so far, my baby has had the IVIG and 2 Hep B vaccine shots. Our pediatrician informed us that we will be checking my baby's viral load to make sure that everything is going well.
Yeah, how does the doctor know she got it from her mom? I think it's because of, like, in a lot of those countries it's common, but they probably don't. You know, even doctors will lie to women to make us feel better. I do know one person that has that STD. I don't know which hepatitis. I didn't ask, but this person was older and they lived to be pretty old. Like, this person's in their, like, 70s, so I don't think... It doesn't seem to have affected this person's life.
What's up, TikTok? Back with another video today. And the video, that's what we're going to be talking about in this video, is hepatitis B. Now, if you think you got hepatitis B, these symptoms, it's just normal, regular day symptoms. Fatigue, tiredness, fever, joint pain, stomach pain, nausea, vomiting, loss of appetite, yellow, swollenness of eyes. Your pee might be like a light color, or you might have stool or dark stuff in your urine. And hepatitis B, you can't get rid of it. Can't get rid of hepatitis B. Now, it could go away on its own, but you can't get rid of hepatitis B. Matter of fact, hepatitis B be fucking up some shit. It can cause other problems if you don't get tested and make sure you don't have it. It can cause other problems. Hepatitis B, HPV, HIV, and what's the other one? Hepatitis HPV, hepatitis B, and one more you can't get rid of. More.
All right. Yeah. Then we got this one. And then you guys can call in.
Just real fast.
What?
You want to hear some celebrities who have hepatitis?
Sure.
You ready for this?
How do you know they have it?
It's on healthline.com. So
I know, but how would they? How could they know the medical records? That's HIPAA. You can't.
These celebrities have all disclosed that they have hepatitis.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So Anthony Kiedis from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, lead singer. Pamela Anderson has hepatitis C.
No way.
Yeah. Yep. So I hope Liam Neeson knows.
You know what?
Yep.
And I think there's some way that it doesn't spread. I know someone that has it, and I know the person that has it, the person married doesn't. I don't know how. I didn't ask, but yeah. Sorry,
okay.
Go ahead.
I lost my. Hold on. Okay. Natasha Lyonne has it.
Okay.
Steven Tyler from Aerosmith, he had it. Ken Watanabe, he's an actor. He had it. Who else would you know? Naomi Judd, she had it. David Crosby had it. Billy Graham, the wrestler, had it. Lou Reed, the singer, he had it. And Natalie Cole, Nat King Cole's daughter, had hepatitis C. Greg Allman from the Allman Brothers, he had hepatitis C. Evel Knievel, the stuntman, he had to get a liver transplant because he had hepatitis C. And those are everyone that you know. Everyone else is too old for you to know.
Yeah, it seems like the person I know that has it is older. It seems to be an older person thing.
Something known as...
Yeah, so ladies, if you go for a grandpa, just know he might. If you guys are banging these old broads, they might give you something.
Perinatal spread. I'll just simplify it down. It's very interesting. So if somebody's parents, father or mother, has hepatitis B, but they don't know about it because all hepatitis B viral infections does not become a disease. The virus just stays in your body. It doesn't do anything. In some cases, it might promote liver damage, cause cirrhosis, liver cancer, whatever. But in many people, they are just inside, we don't know about it. So in such people, they transmit this virus to their children. So the mothers can transmit the virus to their children during childbirth, and fathers can transmit the virus to their children during the early years of life due to excessive, handling and kissing and all. So usually only the eldest son or daughter gets it. What is very important in India, and very importantly what I see, something known as perinatal spread. I'll just simplify it down. It's very interesting. So if somebody's parents, father or mother, has hepatitis B, but they don't know about it because all hepatitis B viral...
Okay. Yeah, now we got moms giving it and dads. All right, so we got questions for the callers. If you have contracted hepatitis or syphilis, can you please call in and tell us your story, how you got it, who you got it from? Or if you know somebody that has it, call in, tell the story. Is a woman with a history of hepatitis or syphilis a deal breaker? And what if she got it from her parents? We're going to put a Zoom link in the chat, and I would love to have you guys call in. Let me check the chat. Again, my computer's being weird today. It's just been a week with technology. We can maybe start with a poll and see, is a woman with hepatitis from her parents a deal breaker, yes or no? No fault of her own. Now, while we're waiting, we are going to show my divorce documentary trailer while we're going to wait for people to get on the line. By the way, guys, you can, this was a compilation of all the interviews I did when I was in England for the divorce documentary. Unfortunately, they demonetized me. I basically had to put my life on hold the last 2 years because these ladies just take me to court. Like, it's just a whole thing. And anyways, long story short, we're trying to raise $100,000. The link to it is in the description. If you can donate, if not, it's no big deal. I also want to say thank you, but my computer won't turn on. But there are 3 people that donated last time, and 2 of them sent $100. So I really appreciate that. We're going to read your names next show.
So there's this clip going viral online of a dozen women being asked the following question: do we need men? Most answered very quickly, no. Because men are useless.
This headline from The Hill, it caught my eye. Most young men are single. Most young women are not.
Young men have fallen faster than any demographic in America over the last 40 years.
It's a different world now. Like, we don't need men the way that they used to.
Nobody needs men!
The future is female. Men and women are drifting further apart, and society is crumbling because of it.
A fascinating debate has broken out about the value of marriage.
You've kind of got the trad-con versus red pill thing.
This men's rights crowd that sometimes just goes too far the other way.
You need to stop acting like grown boys and infants and actually become men.
Marriage is a bond, and it's a sacred bond.
It's a machine designed to extract resources from you.
Now many of the red-pilled have taken the position that it's bad for men to get married.
Hannah Pearl Davis, or just Pearly Things.
One of the most controversial faces in all of the internet.
She goes on to say that marriage is a terrible deal for men.
Because if me and you were in a business contract, you would never sign a contract where I am paid to leave.
Gee, what could go wrong there?
74% or something of divorces are initiated by women. Men have everything to lose, primarily their own children.
Men get killed by the courts and by divorce laws.
I had no idea that courts of family law were courts of equity, not courts of law.
Because in family court, you don't need evidence to accuse someone of abuse. You need no evidence.
When you guys say get married young, a lot of these men don't know what they're signing up for, and you're not going to be there when their entire life falls apart. I interview them on the other side.
I didn't meet my son until he was 15 months old.
How much did you spend trying to get him back?
On legal fees alone was about $200,000.
Before you know it, you're homeless. You're literally just thrown out onto the street.
We absolutely reinforce bad behavior from women.
Wives are taught to leave their husbands, and then daughters grow up without their fathers.
Family is the foundation of the society.
Every problem in society comes from single mother homes.
A lot of women will just chase this negative rabbit hole of happiness, endless happiness.
Feminism's biggest failures is it lies to women. We tell women to date as many guys as possible. We tell them to put off family into marriage.
You are allowed to leave your perfect husband. You are allowed to end a relationship with a really great boyfriend.
Oh, freeze your eggs, have an abortion. What? You're evil.
I don't think there's anything else in life that we actually ever go into preparing to fail. Right. Like if you have the mentality of this is going to go wrong and be pessimistic, naturally the outcome is going to be that it's going to fail anyway. Yeah. It's self-sabotage.
And that's the thing, like women are so willing to leave marriages because they're not happy. This is not about happiness. The most important thing is the children. And the problem is we have a modern society where it's me, my feelings, leave when I feel like it, instead of doing what's best for the kids.
This myth that we live in an age of male privilege. Where's my male privilege?
They think, well, men have all the rights. They have all the power.
Privileged patriarchal system that we have.
Why doesn't our society care about men's rights?
I have no friends, no wife, and no social life.
Men are alone in this situation. Men are homeless. Men are thinking about eating guns.
I've seen so many men on the brink of suicide, and they didn't do anything wrong.
How are you equal if the men are the ones that have to fight and die to defend the country? The men are the ones that build and maintain all the infrastructure.
Women are helplessly dependent upon men.
The so-called deaths of despair from suicide, overdose, or alcohol, 3 times higher among men than among women.
Culture is telling men, you are no good.
You got to get your act together.
I think men have failed themselves.
What kind of a man are you? What kind of a woman are you going to attract?
If men are in trouble, so are women.
Everybody knows this is a huge problem, but nobody wants to admit it.
Every single woman at the table said they wanted a man.
500K,
500K, 300K, 200K.
Am I crazy?
Everything is really set up against you to fail as a man.
If men make less than women, women don't want to marry them.
So you know who wants more economically and emotionally viable men? Women.
I don't want to
be an independent woman anymore.
I don't want to be a strong, independent woman.
I'm over it.
When is it going to be my turn?
Where are we meeting the men that don't stop?
I can't keep having these same conversations.
The only simp here is you, Pearl. You simp for men.
I think you simp for women.
She's a provocateur. She says stupid stuff. But Pearl is right about this.
It's already happening. It's just not out in the open yet.
Now it's just hookup culture is going to be our fairy tale ending because men don't want a wife and women can't find a husband.
The future, if everybody follows your path, is there is no future.
We go into population decline and our economy goes into decline.
Civilization will crumble.
The American story does not end well. This is an existential crisis failing young men.
All right, guys. So if you want to donate to that, feel free. Otherwise, please do call in if you know anybody that's had syphilis, hepatitis. Someone wants to know the global elderly STD stat. Okay, let's look into it. Doug MPA, are you there?
I am here.
All right, let's see. While the global elderly... wait, hold on, let's see. Okay, let me do what percent of people over 60 have an STD? Let's see.
I heard that old folks' homes are just havens for STDs. Old people get it in, man.
Yeah, they don't care anymore at that point. It's like, I mean, like, do you really care if you catch anything and you're 80? It's like you're gonna die anyway.
I guess.
That's why I said he's not gonna care about hepatitis. He's 70. Like, what? You know, whatever. Okay, is there anyone on the line?
No, there isn't.
I was wondering if anyone would call in about this one because there's one woman, I told her to call in. Let me see if she will come on.
Well, it says the exact origin of syphilis remains debated among scientists. However, the most widely accepted theory is that it originated in the Americas and was introduced to Europe by Christopher Columbus's crew in the late 15th century. Syphilis was first documented in Europe in 1493, shortly after Columbus's return from the Americas. Archaeological evidence suggests that a similar disease existed in the Americas before European contact. Genetic analysis of the bacteria that causes syphilis indicates it originated in the Americas. Yikes.
At least they have cures and stuff now and vaccines.
It says the origin of syphilis is still debated, but it is believed to have originated from an animal, possibly sheep or cattle, and then crossed over to humans. Gee, I wonder how.
Ew. What percent of people over 60, I'm going to say have herpes because that's 45% of people over 60. Damn.
Ugh. Come on, you guys, call in. You don't have to have your camera on. And I've never met someone who's had hepatitis or syphilis.
I knew one person. This was
knowingly.
This was someone older that I'd known for a while, but they seemed to live a normal life. I didn't see anything outwardly.
And all sorts of stuff. I mean, you're out to sea. You get to Al Capone perished from advanced stages of syphilis, likely contracted in one of his whorehouses. So Al Capone, they said he likely died of syphilis. They said that, the leader of the Germans during World War II had many symptoms of syphilis.
I bet.
Yeah, you know who
I know
talking
who you're
about?
Yeah, I know who you're
yeah.
talking. Yeah, we're not saying that name on here, but yeah.
Yeah.
I just said we're not saying that name on here, but yeah.
Yeah, of course not. Abraham Lincoln may have passed syphilis on to his wife. Abraham Lincoln did not marry until age 33. After the president's passing, his former law partner claimed that Lincoln had admitted to contracting syphilis around 1835. Lincoln spent time on the Mississippi River in New Orleans and is rumored to have patronized cat houses equal whorehouses while in the city. Yep. Friedrich Nietzsche, they said that he may have died of syphilis. Lenin, the guy that led the Soviet Revolution, they say he may have died of syphilis. Who else is on this list? Oh, Henry VIII. They said that he may have had symptoms of syphilis. Oscar Wilde, the author.
Okay.
They said Beethoven may have had syphilis-related symptoms. Shakespeare? God, man, syphilis is a mother, dude.
I think they kind of eradicated it mostly at this. Okay, there's a woman who worked at a clinic I think I'm going to get her to.
Who else is on here? And that's pretty much everybody. So that is. No one's going to call in about syphilis or hepatitis?
I'm buying a new laptop. I can't take this anymore. Or syphilis, I mean, feel free if you haven't called in and told the story before.
Oh.
Let's see if this girl's going to call in.
Now, let me put it in the...
you know what's funny? I've heard that even when women learn about STDs, we still don't care. Because my friend told me he dated female doctors. He dated a few and none of them cared about using protection.
Yeah. First off, the answer is yes. Second, there's some pride about it or something like that. Yep.
Let's see. Are you calling in? All right. Tell me if she gets on the line.
Up, man. Oh, yeah. Her name is Kat, right?
Yeah, Kat. Ed, can you tell the people a little bit about your background? I said you worked for STDs
stuff and worked there for about 5 years and was, certified to give people results and stuff like that.
Cool. We're talking about syphilis and hepatitis. Did you ever test for those or was it mostly just HIV?
Mostly just HIV, but both of those, unfortunately.
Okay, so it was kind of like a co-infection with hepatitis and HIV? Usually?
Yes.
Yeah. And what % of people that get HIV, would you say it's gay people? Is that, do straight people, and this could be completely ignorant. Okay. You're going to know more than me. You're doing the testing, but I thought it was just a gay disease. Just gay people usually get it. So go ahead.
Yeah. Well, back in the day, it was more prevalent with gay people. Mm-hmm. But since more people are doing more experimental things.
Oh, God. Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
These are things that normally straight people didn't do, if you catch my drift.
Yeah. Okay.
So that has opened the door to it becoming more widespread with both genders.
Like the destinies of the world, huh? They're giving it to the girls too, huh?
Well, yeah, but the girls are getting it from a specific, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A specific act that they didn't do before.
Okay, because you're saying you're more likely to get it from backdoor stuff.
Yes. But since that's more common now, it's starting to level out a little bit.
I'd love to hear, I know we spoke the one time briefly about prevention. Mm-hmm. Do you have any tips for people to prevent STDs? If someone wants to be sexually active, and I always use the example, if a guy or a girl comes to you and they say, look, I'm about to be a hoe. We're about to hoe. We're going to hoe so hard. What are your tips for people that want to be sexually active, but they don't want to catch an STD?
Okay, there is no way to be completely guarantee something is lying to you. They're selling you a dream. We love to the most risky things you can do. Mm-hmm. I closed mouth kissing with no saliva exchange because unfortunately there's many things you can get from saliva like Epstein-Barr virus, stuff like that, cold sores. But if you just avoid fluids, really bad and you could get it that way if you also especially have bad dental health. So 2 people with bad dental health, there's going to be more risk. And then we have things like, you can hug and handhold, but remember there's certain things you can get from each other's hands. So nothing is maybe, let's see. Okay, anything orally I would say dental dams are mandatory for the women and condoms for the men. Fortunately, you got to have a barrier or you're at risk. And people different, and then you have natural lubrication and then none. So you can use a lot of artificial lubrication, water-based lubrication, and it's going to help, but it's never going to be coming in. This is just not, it's not a safe route for someone who's with someone that they don't know or trust.
Mm-hmm. And are you
probably equal?
Okay.
Maybe a few, no, I think it's probably, I would say those are actually, well, lots of people have by looking at someone that they're going to be safe when there's really no way you can tell. As you know, there's some things that you can be born with from your parents and they didn't know that they had it. So nobody knows unless you test. And
what would you say the chances of from each sexual encounter, how likely is someone to catch something? And this is just your experience.
You gotta go by how easy is it? This is just purely my thoughts on it. So this is not scientific or anything. This is just my thought based on what I've seen. I would say if somebody is quick to sleep with you, they're quick to sleep with other people, and there's a higher likelihood. That doesn't mean now you have to I have to preface this, some people are quick to sleep with certain people and not other people. So you have to know where you stand on that scale and assess after that.
Do you know what I found? There's two types of people that get STDs. It seems either the whores and the naive. So half of the ones that we've had call in, they were married guys that got it from their wife.
Yeah.
Have you found that too, or is that just something I've seen?
Yeah, lots of married people give it to each other, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Cheating is a big problem.
I'm looking at these tests on Quest right now. This is expensive. The basic. So you're saying the STD screening test panel expanded. It's screened for 7 sexually transmitted infections. So that's, I think, the one that they recommend. So that's going to have hepatitis, chlamydia, gonorrhea, trick, syphilis, HIV 1 and 2. It doesn't even test for herpes. Look at that. No. That's crazy. Wow. Yeah, and that's going to be another barrier is people. I'm just looking at Quest because that's a common one. People aren't going to want to pay this.
Have you ever had to go through a scenario where a couple came in, that someone gave someone something to somebody and they found out through the test and then something happened at the clinic?
I mean, as for nothing violent or anything like that has happened, but people get upset. There was a few times where we got false do that and females. I don't think this is uncommon, unfortunately, for both genders when they have the opportunity to do something.
Was there?
It's all people's now. As culture shifts, it is no
politically correct over here.
Yes, I do.
All right, for the people, for the people,
you know that bacteria vaginosis is a sexually transmitted infection now. They're considering it that. So there's a lot of people who are getting it from that too, and they think it's just I don't know, they're maybe they're sick or something. I don't know, but there's. HPV, is that on there too?
Yeah, that was on there. I'm just looking at basic boxes because you said a lot of them aren't tested for. So I'm kind of asking the question if when
you go in to test, they usually only test for the ones you mentioned except HIV. They will not test for that unless you go to a specific clinic that tests for HIV. I mean, they can ask for a blood test, but doctors don't like to do it because I don't think that they're legally allowed to give you the results. I'm not sure about that. I know that clinics, you have to do a specific test just to be allowed to give someone results for HIV, not for the other ones.
Were you surprised by the types of people that had STDs? Would there be certain ones that you just would never? How accurate are the at-home STI tests? Are those accurate?
I would say Well, even the ones in clinic, we've had false positives. So I don't know like the percentage of accuracy. I would say none are completely accurate. Even if you get a positive or a negative, I would still retest every like 3 months or so, just to be sure.
That's what I said. I would say 3 months. Like, because based on the shows I've been doing, it seems like if you get chlamydia untreated for 3 months, that could be pretty bad. That's, do you agree with that? I'm just asking like best practices.
A lot of these things
here
can cause long-term infertility. And I'm just asking, like months ago when I talked to you, I asked just regular girlfriends, like, have you ever been tested for anything like for real? And 100% have not been tested for anything.
That is
ever.
So crazy for me. I think I'm neurotic though. So I think I know too much, but I'm like, that is crazy.
So it's just not very common because people are still under the stigma that only.
Is there anything that you think is really like a lot of women have or men have and they don't know?
Definitely a lot of men who's relatively healthy, sleeps pretty well, doesn't have as much stress. They're not going to show symptoms and they're going to be more likely to just have it and maybe be a carrier, but not express the symptoms themselves.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I would go to lots of patients' homes with AIDS, HIV, lots of comorbidities. And just by the lifestyle of the person, you could see whether they were going to like live a long time, even with it or not. And it's down to diet. It's down to mindset. It's down to like how happy you are. Like some of the happiest people I know have all the STDs in the world, but they're very happy and they live just as long as everybody else for some reason. And then there'll be people who they just have like a party lifestyle. They're not sleeping well. They're up all night. They're, stressed out about stuff. And then when they get something like this, it pushes them over the edge. And then they get all these bad symptoms.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you have any, do you have any crazy stories from your time at the clinic that you want to share that are like interesting?
There's one that comes to mind, but I know like you're like a more like women are the problem, but there's this one that like I always think about because it's kind of like the passport bro thing that has always been a thing. Passport bros, dawn of time. I don't know why it got like a name recently, but I'm talking about 20 something years ago. So we had this guy, he made his money. So he's very, very wealthy, has yachts, everything and he, passed through lots and lots of women, but then he finally got something. And after he got something, he went down south, picked himself a nice young virgin bride, Latin bride, brought her over to the States, got her pregnant, had the baby. After the baby was like a year or something, said, hey, let's go get tested. And of course, she ended up having HIV and so did the baby. Now, I know, like terrible story, but like the problem with that was if he had at least told her after he gave it to her, we could have prevented the baby from getting it, which upsets me.
Oh my gosh. So he didn't tell her and he knew he had it.
Yeah. He knew like he was specifically going there for that situation. So, cause he wanted to have a family, but I mean, stuff like that happens on the other side too. It's just, the thing is, I don't consider like men are the problem or women are the problem. I just think people who are narcissists are just growing in numbers. So people need to be careful.
What's the difference between HIV 1 and 2? 1 is like earlier, 2 is like later in the disease, right? Or am I wrong?
I don't know if I've never heard HIV 1.
No, there's HSV 1 and HSV 2.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm just looking at testing sites and it says HIV 1 and 2. I was just looking at, because you said it's not in like the general panel, so I was just kind of curious. And it said HIV 1 and 2 testing. So I was like, I don't know what that means.
If you're curious why it's called passport bros and people have a problem with it, it's because a lot of black men are passport bros now, and like our women have a problem with it. So like white guys have been doing it forever, but now that a lot of black guys are doing it, they're passport bros, and there's a problem with it because black women feel like they own black men, and we're supposed to stay here and deal with their garbage, and we're choosing not to.
Well, I mean, this has been going on forever. It's just maybe like they just figured out this was an option. You can't get mad. You got to do what you got to do.
That's true.
I feel like your testing should be like, it should be regardless of who you're dating. Like, because you
it
just
should
never
be
know.
mandatory.
Yeah,
I think it should be mandatory for like every checkup.
Yeah, I agree. I don't understand. Why don't the doctors, because that's happened to me before, where you go in for your yearly and I'm like, yeah, I want everything. And they're like, everything? I'm like, everything. Give everything. Why do they try to talk you out of it? It's like, shouldn't I know?
Have a feeling that like they need to have a specific code to bill insurance. So you have to say specific things for them to justify the test. So like maybe they lose out something if they have to, or they don't want to make stuff up or whatever. But like they're definitely like discouraged from putting anything unless you say, I am like a very promiscuous person. Please test me for everything. If you don't say that, then they always push back.
Yeah, I'm just neurotic. It's not going to be me. What is mycoplasma genitalium? Is it UTI? Are some UTIs
yes.
STDs?
Yes. And I know you did something on birth control before, but a lot of women do not know that chronic UTIs or BV can be from just being on birth control.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yeah, just the act of being on birth control ruins the microbiome in I think the vaginal canal and maybe the throat and stuff like that. So just like how you can ruin your microbiome in your gut, you can ruin it everywhere else.
Oh, okay.
You did counseling services at your clinic too?
Yes.
So when someone found out, would you ever have to counsel someone that had something permanent like HIV or something on how to like disclose it to people or how to live a normal life and stuff?
I believe back when we were doing it, like you had to disclose, but I don't believe you have to disclose anymore. So you don't ever have to tell people.
And here's the thing.
Yeah.
Can you, just finish that thought, but this whole undetectable thing, can you, after you finish the thought about the disclosure thing, can you talk about this whole undetectable HIV thing? Like, what is that about?
Yeah, that is when you're on medication. So the viral load is like low. So it's past the detectable threshold that it needs for the test to be positive. You still have it, but it's in a low number.
But you can still spread it to people.
I mean, it's less likely, but possible.
So like, because I just hope it's not a thing where like people that are undetectable are just like walking around like they don't have it at all.
Doug, MPA, we've talked about this. I've interviewed people that have these STDs. They don't care. They spread them.
Exactly.
They don't, like, there's your only choice, even if you're a responsible person, if you're sexually active I would say 3 months, maybe 6 if you're in a relationship and you're semi-confident and don't feel like blowing. Some of these are expensive. My God. Mm-hmm. Like for me, I could pay it, but like for a normal person paying like, I mean, this is going to be over $1,000 a year in testing, you know?
Yeah. And that's the other problem that a lot of people see, especially if you're like a poor college student, you see how much it costs. You're going to lie and say, yeah, I've been tested.
Yeah. Like this is, even for BV, yeast infection, and trick, it's $269. That's expensive. So like,
I mean, there's definitely some cheaper places you can go get it, but like, sure. It's still expensive. It's like, I think the lowest, maybe like $50 per thing you can get it. Some of them I saw as low as 25, but like specific things like 25 for chlamydia, 25 for gonorrhea, 25 for, so it's like, it adds up pretty quickly.
Can either be. Yeah.
I got nothing. Man. Like.
We did have, I did want to say it's very difficult for lesbian couples to give any STD to each other for like, you know, the blood ones, right? But we did have one lesbian that she was able to give her partner's HIV somehow. She was the only one. We never figured out how she did it, but she was definitely quite capable.
I'll tell the story. So I lived in Texas for a while, and this woman that worked with my mother, her sister, she go on work trips, and she'd meet guys and she sleep with them, and she got HIV, and the San Antonio airport's really big and has a couple of nice bars. So she would dress up on a Friday night, Saturday night, and just sit at the bar and just wait for some guy to pick her up and have sex with them unprotected, and who was giving people HIV. And she said, yes, someone gave it to me, so I'm gonna give it to people. And she got arrested multiple times for giving people HIV, but she's like, yeah, they gave it to me, I'm gonna give it to them. So if you see a girl in a little red dress at the bar, at one of the bars in San Antonio, you better watch out.
Unfortunately, that's pretty common. Once people get it and they realize people will give it to them, they just become like a villain.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Your choices are going to be your dating life is ruined, or and you could sleep at night, or you're going to lie, and a lot of people are going to pay. I've interviewed people with herpes, and I mean they're just going to spread it. They don't care. Unfortunately, I don't know if I'm guessing you've seen similar things. Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Most of my clients back in the day were gay men, and it was just understood in the community that everybody was going to get it if they didn't already have it. So they just kind of accepted it, if you will.
Yeah, one of my friends, he was like, yeah, man, he's gay. And he's just like, yeah, we're trying to destigmatize STDs in the gay community, so we're kind of more of a tolerant atmosphere. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, man, yeah. And I'm just like, okay there, bud. Keep that all the way over there. No thanks.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter how gross it is, it's just that's what they're gonna do. So you gotta have a plan for yourself, and that's all you can really do. So yeah, you'd say if you're going to be sexually active, condoms, dental dams, and testing every 3 months. That's your recommendation.
I mean, yeah. And remember, like when I started working at this clinic, I was very, very young, very naive. I didn't know anything about anything. And then as soon as I found all this stuff, if I even went on a date, I'm like, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to this clinic. And of course, most people don't want to do that for a first date. But you know what? That's fine. Then there won't be one. That's okay.
Really?
But
what was your success rate? Like, how many guys were like, okay? Because you're like a hot 18-year-old. Guys will do a lot for that,
I mean, there was definitely people who said yes. Like my husband, he was like, okay, yeah. But I will say this. When I asked him, were you tested? He was like, yeah, of course. And I'm like, okay, then you'll have no problem going with me to this clinic. And then he's like, okay. And then I found out later, like, no, he wasn't. He was just trying to see if to speed this along. That's how it is. Young people are broke. They're not going to pay for that stuff unless you force them.
Yeah, totally. Doug MPA, you got anything else for her?
It's always good to hear from people that were actually there in these clinics. Just one more thing. So they said, I've watched a couple of women on social media talk about in Miami, it's some of the most beautiful women you're ever going to see are like in and out of the HIV clinic, are in and out of the clinic getting HIV medication. Is there like is it true that you can't tell by looking at someone if they have like HIV or some kind of STD? Would you assume that a certain, like, how can I put this here? Like, they say that if a girl is like a little too pretty, she probably has something in Miami. Like, is there? Have you seen? Is it true that how much trying to ask this question here? I I don't know how to ask.
Okay, so if you're
asking
if you can tell by looking at someone, like if they're very pretty, assuming like that they will have, no, I haven't noticed that with very attractive women. Now, the OnlyFans thing happened after I quit. So I don't know if that jumped like the attractive women getting that. So my suspicion, I suspect, yes. Yes. If they've done OnlyFans or that type of work, I suspect they probably have a higher chance. Now, before the OnlyFans happened, I didn't see very many beautiful women. I'm just going to be honest, but I did see very many beautiful men. Unfortunately, yes, we very, very like top tier looking men, and then very, very, very wealthy men. Extremely wealthy men and extremely beautiful men. For the women, I would say average looking to me.
Yeah, I'd guess mids, because beautiful women don't have to put out as much.
Yeah.
Yeah, but mids have to put out to try to get the results that the beautiful women get.
I know, but that's the point. The middle put out, more. So
what you're saying about powerful men and beautiful men is why you see, one basketball player's wife goes to like another celebrity because odds are she has something and they both have something. Understand what I'm saying? Like it's like a circle, because if you like Usher's given 2 women herpes and they've sued him for like $1.5 million. So you can avoid that by just like sticking with women that are in the circle that have something.
Wait, I had a thought. You can see if someone has herpes by telling them you have herpes and watching their face. And then being like, okay, just kidding. I don't.
I mean, that's mean, but yeah, that'll work.
And then just being like, because if they have it, they'll be like, oh, I have it too.
I had it.
And that's because a guy that had it, I interviewed, he said that like that happened to him once where the girl told him. And then he was like, oh, that's okay, I have it too. And I'm like, that's a great way to go about it. Yeah, gotcha, bitch.
I had a woman one time and she's like, yeah, I just want to tell you, I may have herpes. And I'm like, you may have herpes. What does that mean? She's like, I took a test and it was inconclusive. I said, I said goodbye. Yeah, no thanks. So, okay,
cool. Well, thanks so much. We'd love if you're ever free Friday, sign or no.
Nope. I guess no one wants to talk about syphilis and hepatitis.
Yeah, we might get a gynecologist on in a couple weeks, guys. We had one email me, and if you guys worked in the healthcare, the ones with the real answers, in my opinion. So, okay, well, I think that's really it that we got for the show today. Doug MPA, you got any final thoughts?
Talking to healthcare providers, it makes you want to live in a bubble. Like the little medical bubbles. There's so much stuff out there, man. You got to be careful, and you got to avoid getting one of those gifts that keep on giving, man. Like you have to, guys, protect yourselves and just assume that a lot of these women have something and just wrap it up, guys. Come on, you got to do it. Tom Leykis used to say it back in the 2000s, wrap it up. And here's the thing. If you start wrapping it up and you wrap it up all the time, you'll get used to it. Just wrap it up, guys.
But guys, don't worry. You could still get an STD, so you might as well just go rocks. You can get one anyway. I'm just kidding. Don't do that, guys.
Yikes.
It's like, yeah. Anyways, my final thoughts are that's disgusting. But you can't have sex without the risk of STDs in 2025 because there's no virgin brides. So I would just assume that everyone has something. That's the best way to protect yourself.